Welcome to a new video. In this video, we will solve challenging questions about logarithms. We are done with the topics. I'm planning to make 2 more videos, including this one. And this is our first question. In this question, we are asked to find the value of x in terms of t, as we can see in the options. We can write this term as in the following. Logarithm of x squared plus 2x plus 1 is x plus 1 squared, guys. The base is 9 and that is t. So in such questions, whatever we have as a base here, as we saw in our previous videos, we're going to put here that number, okay? So 9 is going to be coming over here. If you remember, there was a rule was saying that a to the power of logarithm of x in base a, that is x. This is what I'm going to use here, okay, as a rule. So from here, we're going to have x plus 1 squared, and the right side is 9 to the power of t. And if I take the square root of both sides, okay, x plus 1 is going to come out, and on the right side, we have 9 to the power of t is 3 to the power of t squared. So from here, x plus 1 is going to be 3 to the power of t, of course. And once you send this one to the right side, so we're going to leave x alone. So x is going to be 3 to the power of t. Here it was positive 1, now it's going to be negative 1 on the right. Again, for the people who don't know how I did that, I recommend you to take a look at one of my previous videos about shortcuts in calculation. Anyway, so there is the final answer, and we found that x is 3 to the power of t minus 1, which gives us the answer as A. And let's take a look at in our second question in this video. In this question, we are asked to find the value of A, and we have a composite function here. F of x and g of x are given to us as well. So by using that relation, we're going to find A. So let's start that. Let me write this, okay, composite function as following. That means g of f of negative 1 of A, guys, okay? And that is given to us as ln 2. So I need to find here first inverse of f of x function. So f of x is, let me write it first, f of x is negative logarithm x in base 2. Let's say this is y, guys. And once you multiply both sides by negative, then I'm gonna here have positive, and then I'm gonna have on the right negative. And then I'll put here 2, and then x is going to come down, so x will be 2 to the power of negative y. That is the inverse function of f of x. So switch x with y, so f of negative 1 of x is 2 to the power of negative y. And then once you plug a in x, then we're going to have f of negative 1 of a as 2 to the power of negative a. So we found out this value. And then what I'm going to do is I'll put that value instead of x in g of x. So I will have g of 2 to the power of negative a is equal to, guys. So g of x is here, okay. So I'm going to write that function, logarithm of, instead of x, I'm going to put 2 to the power of negative a, and the base is 10. That is equal to, guys, ln 2. And this is what we're going to solve after that. So that number is going to come in front of the logarithm, if you remember. So we're going to have negative a times logarithm of 2 in base 10, and that is, instead of ln 2, I'm going to write logarithm of 2 in base e. So I will divide both sides by logarithm of 2 in base 10 divided by logarithm of 2 in base 10. These are gone, so negative a will be, okay, logarithm of 2 in base e divided by logarithm of 2 in base 10. And I will write those numbers as following. Logarithm of 2 in base e can be written as logarithm of 2 divided by logarithm of e. And for logarithm of 2 in base 10, I'm going to write it as logarithm of 2 divided by logarithm of 10. So negative a will be logarithm of 2 divided by logarithm of e times the second fraction is going to be multiplied, but it's going to be written as following. Logarithm of 10 divided by logarithm of 2. These are gone. So we're going to have negative a as logarithm of 10 in base 10 is what? 1. It's going to be 1 divided by logarithm of e. The base is 10, guys. Don't forget this. Logarithm of e in base 10. That is exactly it. So we will have, so that number is ln 10, guys, as everybody knows. ln 10. And once you multiply both sides by a negative number, then we're going to have a positive a as negative ln 10. So from here, a is, because of that negative sign, we can write this term as ln 1 minus ln 10. And then from here, if a is ln 1 minus ln 10, so a can be written as ln 1 divided by 10, guys. And that gives us the answer as C. And let's continue with our last question. Guys, in this question, again, we are asked to find the value of x. For the given function, we can write the function as following. Instead of 9, I'm going to put 3 to the power of x plus 1 to the power of 2, plus 3 to the power of x plus 1 minus 6 is 0. Instead of 3 to the power of x plus 1, I'm going to represent this value as t. And then my question becomes t squared plus t minus 6 is 0. And then the question becomes a quadratic equation. So what we are doing, just factor this negative 6 as positive 3 minus 2. If you multiply them, we get negative 6. If you add them up, you get positive 1, which is in front of t. So I can write t squared plus t minus 6 as t plus 3 times t minus 2, and that is 0, guys. I have two multiplication as t plus 3 and t minus 2. Either the first term is 0, because 0 times something is 0, or the second term is 0. Something times 0 is also 0. So if t plus 3 is 0, guys, and then from here, t has to be, just send this to the right side, it's going to be negative 3. So t is negative 3. And if t minus 2 is 0, just send this to the right, so t is going to be positive 2, guys. So I have two options. Either t is going to be negative 3 or t is going to be positive 2, guys. Let me write the options here. So let's take a look at the first case, okay? When t is equal to negative 3. And we said that here, okay, at the beginning, t was what? 3 to the power of x plus 1. So 3 to the power of x plus 1 is negative 3, guys. Once you take the logarithm of both sides in base 3, this is what we were doing before, if you remember. That is not possible, guys. Why? Because this number is a negative number, and we cannot take the logarithm of negative numbers. I'll look at the second option. In the second option, we have 3 to the power of x plus 1, which is 2, guys. And then I'm going to take logarithm in base 3 of both sides, okay? Then x plus 1 is going to come to the front, so left side is going to be x plus 1, and the right side is logarithm of 2 in base 3. And then just send 1 to the right, so x is going to be alone, so x is logarithm of 2 in base 3 minus 1. Instead of minus 1, I can write something like that. This is going to be equal to, at the same time, logarithm of 2 in base 3 minus, instead of 1, I'm going to put logarithm of 3 in base 3, because these are same. And then in the next step, I'll write the last statement as following. So x is going to be, okay, instead of logarithm, to make it faster, we can just write ln 2, right? Okay, because I'm just changing the basis as e, ln 3 also. So ln 3 minus ln 3 divided by ln 3. And because the denominators are same, so we can just subtract the numerators, and I'm gonna write the final part here. That is gonna be ln 2 minus ln 3 divided by ln 3, guys. And that gives us the answer as D. And that is the last question in this video, guys. I'm planning to make one more video about challenging logarithmic questions in this series. Thank you for watching, and hopefully see you in the upcoming videos.